Okay, so I'm back working on some tractors. So something that kind of sucks happened. So I had an entire part one, or what was supposed to be the part one of this video, basically already done, ready to edit, and I accidentally pushed the wrong button and recorded it in the wrong format. It would take me like basically forever to convert all that. I tried, it didn't turn out. So I'll just kind of show you what I did, and then yeah, it sucks. So we'll start off with the 16/6 angle. I rolled this one in along with the 20T and the GT199, but we'll start off with the 16/6. So I rolled it in. I got the SOS pads out and I basically scrubbed the entire thing down with that, and as you can see, the paint actually came back. It looks so much better now. It was all faded and nasty. And have the carburetor cleaning in the bucket there. I'm actually going to rebuild it using a rebuild kit I have. Like you can tell, even the valve cover came really clean. Really wanted to take the hood off, but I forgot to do that before I turned the camera on. I found the side cover that's probably the one off of this. The wiring and everything works perfectly. All I had to do was bypass the two safety switches because they're so rusty and not working. I know I could fix them, but why? Just bypass it and make less things to go wrong. The rest of the wiring is all original, so I kind of felt bad doing that, but not really. I'm going to replace the front tires with some different ones because those are just too far gone. Put a fuel tank on it. Brand new fuel line up because it had the original fuel line still on it. So I thought that was kind of funny. So now we're moving on to the 19.9. So there was some really goofy things going on with this engine. First thing, so this part here went down to the breather that goes to the fuel pump that is kind of on the back side of the flywheel. So they had this fuel shut off that was coming out. So this whole hose was inside there and it was coming out that hole. So I'm not sure why they had a fuel shut off there. I thought that was a little weird. So this tractor sold, at least it was sold when I went to the place a year and a half ago, and recently it came back. So somebody got this, they messed with it, and then gave up. So they did that. They replaced the fuel line already, so that was a bonus. I just had to put the fuel tank back on. So they put a new fuel filter on it, a new shutoff here. I found this side cover that I already had. That's going to go right there and cover that up once I change the oil filter. Now to get it to have spark, somebody put this cut off piece of a screw as the little thing that comes from the camshaft and actually pushes on the points, which I figured this is around 1/4 inch or so too long. So that means the points were not even close to closing. So there was no way it was ever going to get spark. They had the wrong spark plugs in it, so I put the correct spark plugs in it. I just borrowed them from another one and I had laying around. And here's a video of it running. So as you can see by that, it actually runs, halfway decent. It doesn't run with the choke on. It does need a little bit of probably just going to clean the carburetor instead of trying to adjust it and then have to get adjusted all the time because it's trying to clean itself out. I made a bunch of side covers that fit right there, so I'm going to put one of those on it. Somebody must have broke the PTO pedal engager So the part that goes between there and here is snapped off. So I have a replacement. I got that unseized. Here's the replacement that goes underneath the tractor. That's actually in really nice shape. I've got the spring for it as well. The steering wheel had all kinds of duct tape on it. I peeled the duct tape off and that revealed all these cracks. So what I'm going to probably do is put some glue down in there and glue that so it doesn't get any worse. For now, I just zip tied the center cap because the center cap would fall out. Next thing before I run this any more than I already did, because I ran it for probably 5-6 minutes total. And I did actually drive it forward and back. Transmission works, shifts through all the gears, it's really quiet. Next thing I'm going to do is put a new air filter on it, because that other one is completely trash that I put on it. A new oil filter, because that's the original oil filter. Change the oil and do all that stuff to it. Fix the nose cone before that snaps any more than it already did. And just kind of continue to clean it up a little bit more. And just have another really nice original machine. Now the 20T, I was digging into this just now, and the wiring worked for just a little bit and then it stopped. As you can see, I already took the hubcaps off because they're kind of nasty. It almost looks better without them, I think. Probably because they're just so rusty. I have another project I'm going to use those hubcaps on, so they'll probably go for that. This one also has an original oil filter, or original style. It could have been replaced. On this one, even the fuel filter is original, just like it was on the 16.6. So I had it turning over for like 5 seconds and then it stopped. Like the wiring just quit. So I noticed the starter has a little bit of a misalignment going on. So the gears are the starter gear is all the way this way, and it's just barely catching on the flywheel. So I think to do this, I'm going to have to pull the flywheel off just to make it easier. I don't know. See if I can pull it off. Because I'm thinking I'm going to need to put some spacers in the back of the starter and bring it more this way. Because there's something not going on. Something's not right there. So I'm going to get a bunch of more stuff done on the 20T and come back when it's probably turning over. Okay, so back on the 20T, I don't have it running yet, but I replaced the throttle and choke cables because they were so rusty and not going to work again. So I did those. What the problem actually was with the starter was not the starter itself. The flywheel was barely on the shaft. I went to pull the bolt out with the impact and it just unscrewed. And then I went and just kind of pulled on the flywheel and the flywheel fell right off. So I just put it back on all the way. And now the gears actually go together like they're supposed to. I adjusted the starter by sliding it in farther. So the gears make a little bit more contact than they did before. So I went to take apart the carburetor. And just like the 19.9, it's like perfectly clean in there. I mean, like the gasket's in great shape. And I mean, I don't get how it can be that clean. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is just pouring some gas right into the float bowl and messing with the points, get those cleaned and hook the booster up to this. Hopefully that wiring will work a little bit, and I'll come back with hopefully it running. So it runs like flawless. I revved it up all the way, it revved up. I put it all the way down to idle, it idled. I really don't know what to say about that one. It has to be probably one of the most ugliest tractors ever, but it runs so good. So one of the problems it had was basically wiring from sitting. It had a lot of corrosion. The old solenoid was probably fine, but I got a couple new ones, so I put a brand new one on there just because once you put the battery tray on there and I get this cleaned up, I just don't want to fool with anything. So new solenoid, just be done with it. New fuse, because somebody bypassed the fuse to get it trying to work, which it worked. So carburetor was for some reason super clean on both of these, so I don't know if somebody cleaned them, and I don't know, but that was weird. One thing that keeps giving me a problem is the starter. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to just see if it'll turn. That right there is how it starts every time so far. I've had it running 3 times. That's the 3rd time, so wow. So I think I'm going to do some serious cleaning on here. Maybe disconnect my jumper cables. And yeah, have 3 more tractors with original engines running. So definitely want to change the oil on here. I think something's going on there because it splashed some oil up. It's pretty black, and who knows how long it's been changed. I just change oil on everything no matter what now, so anyway, I'll come back when I get some more progress. So back with another little different surrounding here since I'm out in the boneyard. I just thought I'd show you this because I kind of rearranged some stuff, and I'll share some ideas on what I've got going on here. So the 67 Suburban 10 and 68 12, I'm going to take those 2 orange fenders there, put that on one, and then another set of orange fenders I have I'm going to go put on the other one. One of these is going to get a Predator 212 with a stack because that's already on it, and the other one I'm not sure what it's going to get. I want them to have different engines at least, since they're almost an identical tractor otherwise. This 12.6 is possibly going to get a Predator 420 or something along that. It has room for a bigger engine in there. Of course the hood isn't mounted where it's supposed to be because the grill's supposed to be right here. But it looks like there's room for a 420 in there. It might get one of those, it might not, I don't know. This thing here, a Predator 175 or 170 something cc push mower engine is going to go in here. Hopefully continue to keep the mower deck and stuff on it, make it look just like it is now, but mow with the thing would be kind of cool. Or at least have an option of mowing with it. What is now another SS16 is now here in the boneyard. This is going to be painted all white, and it's going to get a 16 horse Onan back in it, and it's going to be a 500,000 it's going to look like the 500,000 tractor. So for those of you who know what that looked like, it's going to look like that. This one here, I'm going to paint it blue, just like the older 68 through 69s or 70s, whatever. Put that style of grill on it with probably a 69 hood and kind of do something like that with it. Might swap a hydro in it, I'm not quite sure yet. All I know is it's not going to be a ST12 or whatever it is right now, so I have plenty of those already. 66 Suburban 12, that Tecumseh in there I had running on starting fluid, and it fired right up and it ran pretty good for 30 seconds or so that I had it running. And then of course that ST or SS16 there, I'm going to put that together and put a Briggs opposed twin in there and kind of keep that with original paint and whatever. Maybe even put that drag on it. Maybe I'll go inside and show you on the tractors I was working on what I did. As you can tell by that, the Boneyard isn't that far from the shop. So the 19.9 is getting to the point where it's about done already. So that's actually in the area where the tractors park. Really all I have to do is the oil change, the filters, and put all this stuff that's on the seat on it. So probably, well, and clean it up. So probably a couple hours of work yet on it, but nothing real big. The 20T, it has a ton of work left on it. It runs, it fires right up, but that's probably about all it's got going for it right now. The hood isn't, or not the hood, but the front grille is in a little bit worse shape than I thought it was. I ran new fuel line in it. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but the next thing would probably be is to put a tire on it. I cleaned the frame and the fenders up as best as I really can. I'll probably clean up the running boards because I forgot about that. The 16.6 single, I put egg tires on the back and some better original tires on the front. This is going to get the dozer blade put on it, more than likely. Hopefully that Tecumseh runs really good. If not, those egg tires will be coming off and going on something else. So a little bit more of an update because I'm probably going to end this video anytime here and then get part 2 coming within probably a week probably. So the 16.6 single that was there is now outside. Kind of trying to make some more room in here for some better stuff. So that one there is going to get the dozer blade on it. That's going to get parked here. Another thing that's going to change is my 67 Suburban 10 and wannabe 68 Suburban 12. These orange fenders are going to come off here because they're already painted. I'm going to paint a set of white fenders, possibly white fenders that are square, so sort of like the 66s, and put those on here and put some egg tires or ATV tires on the back of it, and then hopefully put a better steering wheel on it because that one there is pretty messed up, and then just kind of call it good as that because it's a cobbled mess of everything and I kind of like it that way. This red one, I put a hydro in there. That's the same hydro that I put in that SS16. I'm just going to leave this be on how it is because I think it's kind of cool. That tire that goes flat's a little annoying, but other than that, the rest of the tractors are pretty much the same. I guess the GT16 that is getting the loader on it. I have the framing done. So the main framing that actually bolts to the tractor subframe's on. I'll probably re-support that with something a little bit thicker. And then I get ready to put the pump on, hydraulic stuff, and actually the loader. I got this 4-inch piece of pipe that's going to get mounted around in this area for the reservoir. I was going to do this project, but instead I kind of bought all those tractors instead, so I'm going to put this on hold for now because I've got some other projects I'd like to do instead of a front end loader, and I don't even have a bucket for it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to have the next video up probably within a week or so. I like to continue with every couple days with the video. So thanks for watching.